Woman, wine on your man, man, wine on your woman, and we wine Woman, hold on your man, man, wine on your papa, and we When you see the rhythm hit you, never like before it hits you. Only one eye on the split so, and the drummer hit you down low. Then the conga with the sweet flow. Never hear a cowbell ring so. People singing, asking for more, calling for the rhythm section.
Your mid-mornings are now complete. Sir Charles, the mid-morning mix and bingo on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
All right, everybody, good morning to you. And of course, welcome to it. Good to have you here. Of course, this is a New Era TT Radio. And I want to welcome you to the mid-morning mix and mingle. And happy am I that you are here this morning. Thank you so much for making us your choice. And I'm only hoping as we go along, that choice will become, normalized. I think that's a nice word for it. So that we can be your choice each and every day, keeping your company just as you keep our company. Of course, without us, there's no, without you, there's no us, right? And that's just the way that it is, because you make us what we are. So I want to thank you so much for those of you who've been with us from day one. And we're just bordering on 1 month now that we're here on the platform, and I must admit to you, the platform is growing quite nicely. And we encourage people to continue to share it, share the pages, tell people about it in your circles, and we will continue to do all that we can in all the other ways that we can to make sure that we get the message across. But it's good to be here with you, and thank you once again. I want to say much thanks for the Almighty for bringing us together for another day, and everything that we do, not just some, but everything that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing unto you. I want you to put a smile on your face. Why are you looking so sad this morning? What is worrying you? What is on your mind? Well, look at it this way. I want you to shake it off. I want you to get rid of it. I want you to put a smile on your face, think happy thoughts, and let's move forward. There are things that we all encounter that will come across and try to keep us down, but I don't want you to stay there, right? These thoughts come along, and don't let them weigh you down, right? They'll work themselves out, but you got to keep on moving. You got to continue to stay positive, So, Trinidad and Tobago, good morning to you. Our neighbors in the Caribbean, whether you're from Dominica, St. Vincent, Montserrat, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and there's a number of little islands around all of these islands, around St. Vincent. There are two little islands that I had the opportunity to go to, and it was like many, many years ago. I've always promised to try and get back to them. I haven't been able to do that so far, but I would like to get back to Bequia, a nice little island off of St. Vincent, also a Canawan. I mean, some of those little islands are really quaint, has this nice feel about them. So, good morning to our Caribbean neighbors, And of course, all of you people, international folks, especially those of you in the diaspora that are listening, thank you so much. So North, South America, Canada, Europe, Asia, wherever you are, and the African continent. Once you're listening to us, once you're getting us, we are happy to be here with you. And as I say, share it. Just share it. Let people know that we are here, and we are open to you. And before I go forward, let me just remind you people that for those of you have your little small business, or if you have a big business and you want to advertise with us here on New Era Radio, because we are undoubtedly the fastest growing platform. Within 1 month, the reach that we have been able to move across, it's really moving at a nice pace. We are growing organically quite nicely. So this is a really good platform for you to put your business, and it will help us also, because at the end of the day we all have expenses, and your business will help us, and we will help you with your business to get more people through your doors, get more people to know about your business, and help you to scale your business. So you can email us at New Era or New Era, if you want to put it that way. It's one word, right? New Era TT Radio at yahoo.com. That's New Era TT Radio at yahoo.com. Or you can also shoot a call to 299-5156. That's 299-5156, and we will get back to you. So if you call and somebody may not answer you directly, somebody is going to call you back. We'll have one of our marketing people get on to you. And we got some really affordable rates. We got some really nice packages. And yes, you can advertise with us. And for all our listeners also, you can also go up to our website at www.newerattradio.com. And of course, your support or your donations, for want of a better word, is greatly appreciated, because all those things will help us. We're the baby now learning to walk. So we need all the help that we can, and we thank everybody so far and who continues to, and lend support to what we're doing. Okay. So wherever you may be in this beautiful world, we welcome you. And of course, first order of business is always our inspiration. Oh, but I didn't tell you about the weather. Yeah, because today is expected to be a very hot and sunshiny day today. What you experience, if you were in Trinidad and Tobago yesterday, and whatever you experienced weather-wise, most likely you're going to be experiencing again today. Hot, sunny conditions, and you get a little cloud cover at some point in time during the mid-morning into early afternoon. That is where we are at right now. And you can look forward to one or two. It might be one or might be half of one showers that could be coming your way, and but it's not going to be heavy and thundery and that sort of thing. So it'll be light to moderate showers, so it may not last too long, but I welcome the rain. So if it comes by you and you don't want it by you, you can send it by me, because I'm not handling this heat too well. No, I'm not. Serious. I'm not handling it well at all. Alright, so right now we are at 29, heading to 30 degrees on the outside, and we expect to get a high of 33 degrees. Of course, with the heat index, that will probably be like about 35, 36. So we caution you all the time, walk with your brellies. Make sure you put on your sunblock or your sunscreens, because the UV index is kind of high also. It's at 11 again today. So make sure you walk with your brellies and put on your sunblock, your sunscreens, and yeah. Of course, if you don't have to be out in the sun, no problem. Stay inside. I'm going to keep you company, right? We got some great conversation that we're going to create. And in a short, we are also going to be opening the line so we can take your calls and hear what you have to say about the many things that are outside there. All right, so I look forward to the conversations that we will create inside of this space over the next couple hours, and actually that we talk within the next hour, and then at 11 o'clock. Today it's a Thursday, so we will hook up with Cassie Singo at around 11 o'clock for as we explore Buddhist concepts. It's a program that we started a couple of weeks ago, and it's really growing into a really nice program. So I look forward to see or listen to what Cassie is coming with today. So that is something for you to look forward to. You know, I know a lot of you are into meditation. I'm trying to get there, and last week I was told, trying to do it in little bites. So that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to keep quiet for 2 or 3 minutes. Try to just control my thoughts for that particular time. And then I'm going to move up to 5 and 10 and see if I can take it further. But trust me, 3 minutes is plenty to try to control your thoughts. Every time you're trying not to think about something else is coming. I suppose that is why most people who are doing that close their eyes and stuff. Try to find a quiet space, because if the eyes are open, every time you see something come across, your eyes just glance at something else. The brain picks it up and it just takes you out of the moment. So I'm working at it. I'm working at it very hard, because I want to get to a point where I can just be quiet within myself and not worry about what is happening around me. I just want to be in the element. I'm trying to move to that other stage. I know some of you are probably there already, but I am a work in progress. All right, so having said that, let's see what our motivation today will be like as I go into the weekend. Something that I came across is a very common. I don't know who wrote it, but every now and then I see it come up on, excuse me, on Facebook and in other places and things. It says that you were born to be real, not perfect. I don't know if you have ever saw that before, but it resonates with me. Born to be real, not perfect, and trying to be perfect makes us always have to put on that mask. Whether you are hustling to make ends meet, and I know that's a lot of people, even people who you feel have it all. Trust me, they too, they must be hustling more than you, because they have larger and bigger commitments and that sort of thing. But even if you are trying to make ends meet, you are chasing your dream, because we all have dreams, and I encourage people to dream and dream big. I have this quote stuck up: if your dream doesn't scare you, it's too small. I can't remember who said it right now. I'll get it for you. I believe that, chasing after your dreams, or if you're just trying to hold things together, life, yourself, your family, whatever it is you might be doing, just remember this: if it's your honesty, it's also your effort, and also your realness that really inspires others. Yeah, it is just that. The more real that you can be is the more that you can inspire other persons. Not some picture perfect version of success. People see through that, People connect with truth, not perfection. So try to stand tall in your flaws, when we all have flaws. Speak your truth as the song says, speak it quietly, honestly, and keep moving forward just as you are. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try to be too perfect to others, because it can really take a toll on you. It can really put you in a space where you always have to be putting on this mask. Just as you women, most women, well, maybe some of you guys do. It's a daily ritual. You get up, you have to put on your makeup. Yeah, I know people like that. They go in nowhere. They're in the house. Nobody in the house with them. But they get up and they put on your makeup. That makeup is not you, it's true you. But I guess it makes people feel good. And that is why we say you try to keep it real. Because it's okay to be the true you. It's okay to be yourself. It's okay. Yesterday we were doing the program. I was the day before yesterday, and Denise Deming is there. She's a lady I admire quite a bit. I love her whole head of gray. She has this whole head of gray or white, whatever it is. It's natural. She's not trying to hide it. She's not trying to dodge it, I see it even in the past with our parliamentarians, some of them, especially some of the guys too. Hair graying. 1 minute you're seeing them, because it all depends on when they could get to the hairdressers. So one day you see them hair looking grayish. They have this salt and pepper look that they like to call it, right? And next minute you see them in the parliament again, hair jet black. Be you. Be you. Represent you. Be the true you. So my motivation today is to ask you, or to try to motivate you to be a true you, because that mask that you're hiding behind, people see through it. Yeah, they see through it, so you might as well let people see the true you, because and some of those things that we try to maintain, it's not always easy to maintain it all the time. So sometimes somebody may come to the door unexpected. You may not be ready because you don't have all your masks, you don't have one this and that, you want to answer the door, kind of thing. You're pretending you're not home. And just be you, all right? Be the true and real you. And that's my motivation for you guys this morning. Yeah. I want to say a very special good morning to my darling Daphne Hayward. Daphne, good morning to you. Hoping all is well with you this morning. Shall make sure Daphne get my greeting. You hear me? And by the way, people, as I move forward, I have someone that needs a wheelchair. So if you have a wheelchair that you are not using and you would like to pass it on to that person, you can call me. Everybody know my number, 683-2609, right? That's 683-2609. And I'll make an arrangement for the person's family to meet you, or I will come meet you personally if you prefer that. So I can get it to them. But I'm trying to get a wheelchair for this person. The person is not well and needs a wheelchair. So if I know some people have some of those things or access to some of those things, if you do, well, give me a call now. All right, I would appreciate it much, much, much. So what is happening? Well, today it is the swearing in of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I can't remember exactly how much Prime Minister that she is. It's the second time for Kamala Prasad Bisesa. So who we had? We had Eric Williams, George Chambers, Ian R. Robinson. Then we had Mr. Manning. Then we had Mr. Pandy. And when they fuck wrong, Mr. Manning again, boy. Mr. Manning again. Then we had Kamala Prasad Bisesa, first rounds, Dr. Keith Rowley, and now back to Kamala Prasad Bisesa. So, what, that could be like about the 9th Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And she will be sworn in at around 4 o'clock this afternoon, 4 p.m. I understand. Of course, we will be bringing that swearing-in ceremony to you live here on New Era TT Radio. Yeah, so you can stay tuned, so you can get it here from us. And I understand. I was getting some news. I'm not too sure if it's holier than thou, but I hear that they say that they are looking to move the ceremony outside. I don't know if that is happening or if it's possible. But yeah, we wait to see how that will play out. But undoubtedly a very historic day for, us here in Trinidad and Tobago, our second female Prime Minister, and second time around for the same female Prime Minister, Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Like her or don't like her, Kamala Prasad Bisesa is a real fighter in all you. I think for a lot of the inspirations that I give, I can see basically she represents a lot of that, She has been through the fire. She has taken all the ridicule, criticisms, bad talk. I mean, you name it. I think Kamala Prasad Bisesa got it all. I think I can identify. I don't know where she was. She was speaking. I think was one at the last holiday it had. What it was, Eid or Diwali, whichever one it was. Eid, I think it was. And she was at one of those religious holidays, and she was talking about her past and how people looked at her and where she came from and that sort of thing. And these stories are really good because it can really inspire people. Because sometimes with what we face, we turn our backs and we go the other direction when the pressure comes on. But definitely she stood. She took all the criticism. She looked at it. I mean, I being in her shoes, I would be real under real pressure. I can imagine probably the stress that she may have been on election night, knowing that this is do or die for her, because just as Dr. Rowley, Stuart Young had to resign now, party faithful is getting mad at you, and all those different kinds of things. I am sure that she would have been contemplating all of those things. And Kola, coming to you just now, just give me 2 minutes, right? Coming to you. She would have been contemplating all of that after the polls close at 6 o'clock. You see that particular period between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m.? I couldn't even watch the TV. Because I tell myself, you see that stress? I ain't able with it. I go take it later on. But for persons who in it would have had to take that pressure going through, watching votes come in, some for me, some for them, some for them, some for me, some for them, some for them, none for me, some for me, some for me, none for them. That kind of, boy, that is real pressure to sit and put yourself under, But yes, she stood there and took it, and eventually, she turned out to be victorious, because I can imagine all the things that would have been saying all now had she lost the elections. Just like we see all manner of things being said of the PNM and Dr. Rowley and Stuart Young and the leadership and the executive and who's to blame. So when somebody, when you go through an election and things like this happen, somebody going to take the blame. Somebody had to get blamed. That's the norm of the thing. Right? So it's expected. But congratulations to her for standing the test of time. And now I think when she is ready to leave, if she turns out to be a good leader, and I am really hoping that she turns out to be a very good leader, so she can leave a really good and lasting legacy going forward. That the party would have gone through a lot in 2010 to 15, and I'm hoping that she doesn't want to carry that kind of thing with her this time in government. So I'm really hoping that her reign will be a good one. So at the end of her 5 years, or if she makes 3 in the 5 and then hands it to somebody, that it would be a positive. That negative stain that the people put on her would be able to be wiped away, washed away, and show a different side of her. The work now begins, because now we have to get in there and make things happen, with a population that is patient, yes, but have a lot of expectation. I don't know if they will be as patient with this administration as they would have been with the last administration, but only time will tell where that is concerned. But today's swearing in, lots of speculations as to who will be joining her there. Attorney General, because that is 2 main people to form a government in Trinidad and Tobago. So people have been speculating as to who may be that Attorney General. Well, your guess is as good as mine, because these things are held very close to the chest of a lot of people. Sometimes they wonder how they could keep that secret. But we wait to see, and then of course then you have to swear in the rest of the cabinet. I've been seeing all different kinds of things popping up, because we are people, we don't rest. We've been trying to predict it. Just like the outcome of the general elections, I saw a person who had done a poll, if you want to call it a poll, a prediction on the general election, and he had predicted that the PNM will win 25 seats, and the opposition will win this, and the UNC would have won that, and his predictions, the way that he laid it out, sounded pretty reasonable. I'm playing it sounded pretty reasonable, but guess what? It was wrong. So some of these pollsters get it wrong, because they totally don't understand what people on the ground are saying. And it's kind of hard when you do snap polls and take out little pockets. You can hardly get out the wider cross section of what people are thinking. And a lot of people were dissatisfied, and they showed that in 1 or 2 ways, either moving their vote or just not voting. So here we are. New government is going to be sworn in, and it is left for the PNM now to get into the vineyards, and trust me, they will have to labor very, very hard, unless this administration decides to make a whole lot of mistakes and do a whole lot of rubbish. Well, if they do, they will make the work of the PNM in opposition very easy. But if they do right and move us forward, well then they will make the PNM's work in opposition very, very difficult. I know a lot of people who support the People's National Movement are not too happy with having to go back to opposition. But as they say, when you don't talk out and you stay on the bus and just ride the bus, whatever happens to the bus, you now have to pick it up. All right, so that is where we're at. Of course, we have the new opposition leader, Ms. Penelope Beckles-Robinson, being appointed. Well, not appointed as yet, but being chosen. And we wait to see how that will work out. A very cool, calm, collected Miss Beckles Robinson. So let's see if she can marshal the forces to rally and come back with full force. It's anybody's guess. But let's go to the lines at 281-1319, 281-1315, sorry, 283-1315. I got so many numbers to remember now. All right, so we're taking your calls. You can call us, you can WhatsApp call us, or you can send a message. Caller, good morning to you.
This is the longest 2 minutes I've ever had to.
Oh, well, you should love.
I heard somebody say,
you should
caller
love.
coming in 2 minutes.
Well, that's it. And if somebody tell you they're coming
And I
in,
turn into 10.
if somebody tell you they're coming in 2 minutes and they take longer, you should be very happy.
No. If I have other things to do, I wouldn't be happy.
What you doing other things in a situation like that? One thing you're doing.
Great morning, Sir Charles.
Great morning to you, my dear. Good to hear you.
Sir Charles, plenty estrogen in the place.
A lot.
Female president,
Yes.
female opposition leader now,
Mm-hmm.
female
Prime Minister.
prime minister.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Charles, our only hope, Penny, can be I don't see her as being very assertive.
You'll be surprised.
No, well, this is it. I just hope. Because on the platform, she was good, eh? She was really, really good.
Yeah.
She surprised me on the platform.
Yeah.
But I just hope she'll be very assertive and continue like that.
Yeah. Well, I suppose when she gets in her space, and according to what other type of authority is given to her, then she would be. I think a lot of people would be surprised by by her.
Well, yes, because on the platform, she did surprise me. Because I know she sounds so conservative and, most of the time.
Yeah,
But on the platform, she did.
You
she
know,
did surprise me.
you when your ladies ready to open all your mouth, all they could open it, you know.
That's what all they say. Yeah, so, well, like you said, Kamala, I somehow I feel she'll do a good job. I want her to do a good job, even if she could put across 50% of what she said she would.
Yeah.
I'll be happy. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Because the last time around, I don't think she was a bad prime minister, and there were a lot of things that I personally was impressed with. Particularly for what she did for women and children and the poor and so,
Yeah.
I was impressed with her in that respect. I know people talk about the baby grants and things, but I was okay with that. With the $500 baby grant for women and, at least for 6 months, if we're saying that will be encouraging.
Yeah.
Children to be babies and, their logic was a little poor. It was a little off. But I was impressed with a lot of things that she did. Of course, I didn't like certain things that were done also.
Right.
But I see her as a nurturer, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think she will do an alright job, and I am really looking forward to that.
Right.
Okay. I am one who, I wasn't so impressed with Rowley's governance. I am one like that. I'm not saying that it should not have been the PNM, but if you Rowley of himself, I wasn't too impressed with his governance. I wasn't too impressed with the way he spoke to people, how he dealt with people.
Yeah,
And
a lot of people. A lot of people found that he was just too abrasive.
Yes.
And
the things he was saying and
And
how he was thinking.
and strange enough, in the earlies they try to make him over, They tried to make
No,
him
they
over in the
couldn't. They
earlies, but
couldn't.
he just couldn't do
They
it.
couldn't. He wasn't.
He
He
tried,
wasn't a Manning.
and then he said, "You see, this is not me now. I take off my jacket. I gone back to my
Yes.
yeah."
He wasn't a Manning. He wasn't a George Chambers. He wasn't Eric Williams. He wasn't anything like that. He was just Rowley. And he continued to be Rowley, what he wants to be and how he wants to be. Right? Nobody can change him over.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not sorry that he decided to leave.
Right.
I am still suspicious about how he left and why he left. You know? Right when in the call of an election year, you know, I'm just suspicious about that. I have some Barbadian friends who are saying it could have been that he is ill and he couldn't make it no more. But not ill to take bed as a grandparents will say. But
Yeah.
not ill to take bed, but ill enough not to carry on. So there are people are saying that they used Stuart Young as a fall guy.
Yeah.
You see that happening?
Yes.
As a fall guy.
Yeah. They treat Stuart Young like a bubbly.
Oh, okay. That is a kind of strong allegation word. A fall guy.
Yeah. I believe that. You know.
But you saw his face.
Oh
His
Lord.
only cry, he didn't cry on the night.
Yeah, I was looking for the tears coming down the side, you know, because
Yes, he only cried. He did not
Oh,
cry. Yes, it was so sorrowful. It was so sad. I mean, he came out and he tried.
Why?
He tried to say some brave words, but when he cried, the poor guy did not cry. He was looking forward to
I'm telling you.
being prime minister. You know. Oh boy. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, but I believe I believe that he's a real hard worker. From what I've seen of him, and you know the way that he has been doing things, and that's the next thing. They real overwork the man. Yeah, they real overwork Stuart. But I think
he did not deny. He did not say, well, no, I don't think I want to be in this position. He was all right with it.
Yeah.
He didn't deny, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He did not say, well, no, I don't think I want to. And I don't even think he went and tell anybody that behind. I think he wanted to see how much he can do and what he can do. And I think he actually wanted it. The way he used to speak and all that with confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think he wanted it. So it is what it is, and we have to live together. We have to coexist.
Yeah, for that.
And we have to learn to behave. And, well, it's our country, it's our people, right? Our citizenry. And I want teachers, I want educators to educate their students. Talk positively, that is important. You see, parents and teachers, talk positively to your children concerning what we have to live with now.
Right.
One more little thing, Richard. I want to see Roger Alexander, one of my favorite human beings. I want to see him as Minister of Youth Affairs. Reason being, the crime, the people who are committing crime are becoming younger and younger. And I think he has the best position to look after them, to make sure that they are put in their right places, that he can help them do what they are supposed to do. You know, all these people on the block, all these people who are leaving school before time and all that, he has the disposition to deal with the youth.
Yeah, well, as I said, in the next couple of days, we'll find out who's going where.
I don't want them to just put him as national security. No.
Yeah, you feel there's a greater role for him.
Yes, I want them to deal with the youth.
All right. Okay, no
He
problem.
has that kind of disposition. You see, when he was on Beyond the Tape,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to talk with a few of them, I like the way he used to come across.
Okay.
He used to just be correct, how to deal with them, how the questions to ask them, tell them what they should do, and he used to listen to what they have to say.
Right.
Yes, that is important. Listen to what they have to say.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Sunshine, I gotta leave you. Thank you so much
Yes,
for
yes.
linking up this morning. It's been nice chatting with you, getting your thoughts on where we are at and how we are moving forward. Good morning.
Hi, folks. Hi, Sunshine. Well, I think having Miss Beckles, what's her whole name again? Penelope Beckles something.
Robinson.
Right. I think having her there is like a cool breeze after a raging storm. I think that is good for the PNM. And I don't think being assertive means you have to be abrasive and loud all the time. I think you could be quietly assertive.
Right.
Assertiveness is not necessarily what we are accustomed here in faith and assumed Dr. Rowley to be. So I think that is a good sign. I think the way everything played right into her hands. I think if PNM was smart, they'd make her the leader of the party. The same way how people felt, and some of them felt, that Dr. Rowley got a raw deal under Manning and they favored him. A lot of people felt Penelope got a raw deal from under Rowley and they favored her. And I would like to see she take the helm of the PNM because they have a strong institution. It's just that they how they function is kind of weird. So I wish she get leadership of the party. I think we could do with a lowering of the temperature in terms of how we articulate issues and plan to go forward. Mm-hmm. That last 10 years was too much noise to me. I'm glad the trade unions got those 2 seats. I found that to be really, really nice. They have an opportunity to make sure their issues are in the parliament. They also have a responsibility to keep that government in check because while the new Prime Minister, while Ms. Prasad Nisasa might be wanting to be one type of person, she is still surrounded by people who could be all over the place. And it will take the trade unions, which bring a certain kind of membership to the table, as well as the general public, to kind of make sure they keep the party in check by giving fair criticism all the time. No pass for nobody, because we lost a lot of money to bad politics. It's not like if a lot of the ideas Dr. Rowley had was wrong, It's so much things he wanted to do and he said he would do that I agreed with. I just disagreed with his mannerisms and I disagreed with his priorities. I disagreed with his whole agenda of thinking that you have to feed rich people with more to help out the poor. That whole agenda was wrong. But it had things that he was proposing, especially in the relationship to Venezuela, that I thought to be on point. He was treading a real hard one there, but I actually supported that entire move. I hope the trade unions keep the UNC in check to make sure that they don't just go feed it into Rubio and them into being anti-Maduro to the point that Trinidad becomes a platform for attacking Venezuela. Right? I want to see that in check. I see the rumor mill is saying that Jeremy might be the Attorney General. If that is so, that would be plenty things to talk about if that ever happens. But one other point before I leave the forum. You remember the Colombian student, Bosan Madawi, who they detained, and he had a green card and they wanted to deport him. And he had his hearing, but on Wednesday, a judge released him on bail, right? And the judge had some nice things to say because she thought that the argument was that he was being detained and that was unconstitutional. It was retaliation for his pro-Palestinian position. And he was a lawful permanent U.S. resident. The judge actually made the point that she thinks releasing him was important because what she sees going on, it has a chilling effect on protected speech. People are quite entitled to take political positions, and nobody should be detained for that. So the judge made, people can research it online, it's only Wednesday. He made the judge made an important statement about the nonsense going on under this Trump administration. And well, we already know that they had was to restore the visas to over 1,500 people who they had canceled it for. So that whole thing that they were doing that I told you would have been illegal. It so turns out that judges have been agreeing, and they decided to roll back on the way they're doing things. You see, that is why, you really shouldn't just be doing things like that or using executive powers when you need to bring the debate to Congress so you could get arguments to be able to let you know if what you're doing making sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is the way they wanted to do things in a kind of mad dictatorial manner like if Trump is a king. The consequence for which the people are facing, and they're doing more harm to the U.S. reputation, to their business dealings, to everything. They just give China an easy hand just to lay back and allow them to make fools of themselves because they end up just trying to destroy relationships far and wide. So if people will remember it and hold them to task for it, But all of this, I say this is unconstitutional. I wait until some judge give a ruling about how the executive powers were used to raise taxes, which is in the Constitution, is the role of Congress. There was no emergency requiring that. So I waited to hear when a judge ruled that it was unconstitutional and scrapped the whole thing. I'm gone for now.
Okay, thanks very much, Mr. Hotep. Thank you very much for your input this morning. And that is one thing why I like what is happening where the U.S. is concerned, because at least they have systems in place to deal with a lot of those things. So even where the president feels that he could just do certain things and run over people, they have certain systems in place in the courts, and they move within reasonable time. It's not like 4 and 5 years down the road and all those. No, they deal with it in a particular time, and so people can get justice and have a lot of those things overturned and challenged and that sort of thing. And that's the beauty of where they are. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning again, Sir Charles.
Hi, Zena. Good morning.
I'm saying good morning again to all those who locked on. Sir Charles, I hope you all don't get me wrong this morning, because I saw in the chat a caller said, Zena, what you said was inappropriate. Listen to me. I was not abusive. I was not insulting. I spoke my mind. As a strong PNM supporter and a member, I said I did not like the behavior of what went on yesterday.
Yeah, well, I said I don't know exactly what went on, and it had me kind of confused.
Yes. I did not like their behavior, such as I was looking at it on CNC3. Someone of them had it on Facebook. The General Council normally have meetings. They don't bring the media, and for that set of people that, I don't know if they were encouraged or they came on their own from Arima, the party groups, and came down. Stuart Young didn't bring anybody. So there was no need for any rabble-rousing. I am saying I listened to Mr. Ferdy Ferreira on another format yesterday morning while I was going down in my car. And he said it was among the 13 to sit and decide, or they could trash it out, who to think now. It is a democratic process. They could have done it among themselves. You didn't have to bring the media, and you didn't have to hold up. I saw on CNC3 where she hold up a paper, Mrs. Robinson, with the signature of the 6 people. And from the time you're seeing all that, you would realize there's a dissension. That all didn't come forward readily to sign a paper to agree. And then your people getting on, go from here, and with Dr. Rowley and Take Stuart Young and go, go. And I hear now, the Chinese and all that, how race and all that coming into it. I think we have long past that.
Yeah.
And if we have him in the party with us for so long and working with him, what is wrong with Stuart Young being the leader? I think we have passed that stage. He born here, he grows here, and the behavior, and for Dr. Rowley, I heard Jennifer Baptiste all in the media, association. Go from here, go home,
Serious?
go take golf, go and see what the grandchildren, and take Stuart Young with you, and what all of that is about.
Hurting people, Zina. It's hurting people. That's what's going on.
Yes,
and
you further fracture in the party because I'm very despondent. I given them a total rest. That is my feeling.
Yeah, because you know that is all. And whenever the party loses, you get that kind of thing. Because I remember the situation. It was not general council, but it was almost immediate with Mr. Manning the night of the election.
Yeah, and why can't you continue that process? That the former leader have to. You only want to run him out in disgrace.
But I will tell you something. I will tell you something too, Zina. If you look at it, there's some of the same people, you know.
I'm telling you, and listen, the same people, and this goes to show, and all I said is that a fracture came earlier when Dr. Rowley went on the retreat and when they had to sign. You remember who signed for Stuart Young and who signed for Penny Beckles, and then they went back in and, all right, they all come together, they trash out that. And we went along with it. They gave the opposition food to throw in the face that, look, all you even get all you want. The force a Chinese man upon all you in all the face. Yeah. What is all that? You know, and further fracture in the party. People have feelings, and all I'm saying, not that it a democratic process shouldn't take, but it is my opinion that all you come and all you settle all the differences early. He was appointed the Prime Minister. Okay, he took a gamble at calling the election. I didn't agree with it. I felt he should have taken a little more time and carried them down to the wire and show your force. Okay, but he took a gamble like we all do, and it didn't go in the favor. But he was not the cause of it, neither Dr. Rowley. You know what happened? People did not come out and vote, and let me tell you, in my area, and that is why in my area, in Gonzales had to have a recount, because it was too close. It should have never been close. But people told me they're not going out to vote because they were not getting proper representation. And let us face it, Sir Charles, you always hear me call. I have not deviated from saying PNM PR is not good. You remember I keep talking about that?
Yes.
All the time, and you know, so let us face it, people did not come out to vote, and when we look at the figures, it is far less so the amount of people who came out last year, and UNC more or less had the same figures, so they're fighting because they need to do more work on the ground, even the councillors. You don't see them? You don't have to run every minute, and what happens is when you try to call people, minister and thing, they do not take your call and they don't respond to you.
Yeah, well, there's a whole new rebirth now. So, you know, as I said, you see all those who, because of all the things that they were not doing, now they have to get down in the trenches and work hard.
That is what I am saying. So don't further fracture the party in the eyes of the public, because I know I am one, but I shine not alone with the behavior of what went down yesterday.
All right. Okay, no problem.
There was no need for that.
Thanks very much, Zina. Thank you very much. Yeah, because I mean, I didn't actually see what was going on there, but I've been getting some information about some things and people who, and I said, well, wait, it's the same set of people. Good morning to you, caller.
Hey, Sir Charles, morning.
Jay, good morning to you.
As always. Yeah, man, lessons. Previous caller, yes, people didn't come out to vote, but I mean, we live in Trinidad historically. From my experience, when not PNM diehard, when the average PNM supporter or the fanatic or the diehard, if they are not satisfied, they just don't vote. The people not vote for the UNC and not vote for the PNM, they would hold a vote.
Yeah.
This is no secret, this is no surprise. So that did send a message that in itself is a telling tale. People were not happy. I think I should kind of cut back to the representation. but not even at the council or the MP level, just to me, the whole country. Because I mean, it's years now we calling and talking about the problems, how we feeling, the challenges we facing on a day to day on your program, so Charles. And I mean, I'm telling you, I used to feel like they didn't care about the common man. So I for one was very happy with the message that was sent, right? Because
Yes.
they can't just treat people how you want and then come at the 99th hour, pave road, give out houses, the same archaic techniques, and then expect people to vote for you for another 5 years. So I was very happy. But just to move on, so like I mean, it's still that time, so we're discussing politics in my various group chats too. What kind of disappointing. So some of the people who I have conversations with, some very strong parents supporters, I believe they are in the party. But it's like they're waiting for this government to fail, and it's like I'm saying, why are you all waiting for it to fail? If they fail, that's gonna affect us. It's like you hear it like again in 2 years, and that kind of sentiment.
Well, I said, people hurting, People hurting.
You tell me, to me, you live in this country, not like you live in Barbados, and you're saying, well, I could see how it go in 2 years, and you ain't gonna be affected. If the thing fall apart in 2 years, like crap will smoke on how you fight.
Well,
But
but that happens on both sides of the fence too, because just like when the government was fighting for that this gas deal with Venezuela, there were people on the other side who were saying, "Boy, we want that to fall through," because that people on both sides didn't care if we sink or float,
I understand. That's a fair point. That is true. So I guess that it depends on what side of the depends on. I mean, but then I guess people like me myself who not a
fanatical
in any idea teams.
Yes.
I put in country first. I really hope that the UNC learn from their mistakes, and I am wishing for the best. I'm cautiously optimistic right now.
Yeah.
You understand? They had enough time to learn from all the mistakes they make. They hear the voice of the people. The campaign and all was a little different. You see that when UNC win, everybody win. That was very impactful. So let's see if they do things different. Right? And I'm wishing for the us. Regarding the PNM, to me, I think as Mr. Hotel said, not to put Penny as the opposition leader, I feel like that is a breath of fresh air. Right? I believe, hopefully, I could be wrong. I hope I'm misplaced. I hope we get a more empathetic person in the PNM, because to me, Raul is lacking empathy. If he had it, he wouldn't train it at all. Right? So, somebody who actually care about the concerns, and not just big business or the elite, but also the 1%. I mean, the 1%, sorry, the common man, sorry, the man on the ground. Right? Because, alright, yes, the previous government used to talk to me as a layman. Some of the issues they raised were very macro. So you had to talk about the energy fines and these deals and things. But I feel, in terms of granular, how it is impacting on my quality of life, I feel like I wasn't seeing any changes. It was just getting harder for me.
Yeah.
Granted, it possibly could have been harder. I don't know, but I just felt like what we're discussing, I'm not seeing it, I'm not feeling it here.
And that is it.
Right?
Yes.
When you say you secure this deal and how much ever, or you could come to tell me now, but tighten my belt until 2027. How in your good mind you could come and tell us that after to me that was your whole mantra since you was re-elected. Tighten your belt, tighten your belt, tighten your belt. You come to tell me now whole string until 2027. Then it falls through. Right? So things that I just feel like that was very disconnected. I view it as a breath of fresh air. I wish I could clean house in terms of get rid of all some of them old dinosaurs, even though another still be in the background, like him. But another one, I didn't forget when he was presenting and he laughed about how he raised the gas and how he got that never leave me. I don't know if people forget that, but that never leave me, because the thing come from the fact, even if you had to do it, Sir Charles, you don't come and joke about it with the people in riot yet. But that impacting on people, that cutting out from people disposable income, and you come, but I could just raise it again. Keep. So all things like that, people like myself didn't forget. And even though the previous government, well, the UNT government, they had their share of issues in the past, I'm really hoping for the best, because the PNM was no perfect either. And a lot of people are just towing the line. So they'll just keep the business inside, as everybody know. versus UNC where it has be a whole, it has be out on the front porch. Right? So let's see how the thing go.
Jay,
That's
thanks
for sure.
much.
Yeah, man.
All right, so people, we're taking your calls this morning. We're going up to 11 o'clock with your calls. Coming up at 11, we'll be exploring Buddhist concepts with Cassie Singo. Something for you to look forward to as we try to bring you varied types and styles of programming here on New Era TT Radio. All right, good day to you, caller.
Good day, Mr. Sir Charles, sir.
Hey, morning, Mr. Peter.
Well, yeah, Sir Charles, let us admit that the UNC had a better campaign than the PNM, right? And they were able to really touch the hearts and minds of people with their slogans and with some PNM people crossing long-standing and of recent vintage as far as the public knows them and so on. But they crossed. Now, some people from the UNC crossed over to the PNM, but those were clear dissidents. They were not secretly planning to cross. It was clear that they were discontented. They had a problem with UNC internal elections, which was not past due, but they behaved as though it had gone and nobody had the elections, but it was not even due. And then they jump across to a party that did not have their internal elections, and they were happy. That last minute jumping across there was part of the orchestrated plan, you know. What they didn't realize is by the time it came for Rambali and Anita to jump, the river was too wide and they fell in the river. And that angered a lot of UNC people that here we are about to win. And you who have been feeding at the UNC trough with our love and adoration and loyalty, giving safe seats, Chaguanas and Tabaki, those are safe UNC seats. Rambali in Chaguanas and Anita in Tabaki. And, you know, you guaranteed a place in Parliament when you get those seats. And for the UNC and last minute, this is what you do to us. And also Larry Lala, very much loved and adored in the UNC community. Are you there, Sir Charles?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Right. I had to decline a friend calling me. He doesn't listen here, so he doesn't know. Yeah. So I'm saying that what happened there, people felt betrayed. Coming down to the end, I actually voted for that team there, you know, with Parry and them in the internal election.
Right, I remember that.
And I felt, I took the position, well, here now, man, you wanted the internal election, we got the internal election, there's a result. Let's go with the result. You didn't say anybody cheat. I was there, you know, very few people came out to vote and so on. I voted at the Penal Presbyterian School, where my father contributed a brick when he was a little boy to build. And he always told us about that. But I'm saying that my wife and I went there. There was no rush. It was a bright sunny day, blue skies and gentle breeze, right? They couldn't play cricket because of the traffic and whatnot. But I'm just saying, they did not come out to vote. They did not get the support of the UNC. They did not accept the results. So I abandoned them. I'm not going for that kind of foolishness. I mean, if they had felt that it was stolen and so on, I could understand. But you lost, right? The PNM is taking their loss in better spirits than these good folks took their loss, right? So let me congratulate the PNM for taking their loss in good spirits. Now, why did the PNM lose? The basic thing was failure to deliver, you know. If you've been in government for 10 years, you have to be able to point to 20 things of significance. And then you point to the upgrading of infrastructure and so on. You have to say we created jobs. You have to say water improved, water supply. You have to say crime went down, healthcare went up, education is now improved. You know, the really big stuff, right? And how did education improve? Our results improved because we did X, Y, and Z. Healthcare improved because we did X, Y, and Z. Your security improved because we did X, Y, and Z. You have to be able to say that after 10 years. But their thing was, Stuart Young is young and strong and moving from house to house and dealing with, treating with the thing. He's going from house to house because he's campaigning. He's young and strong because he's 50 years old. You don't get a prize with being 50 years old. You understand? So I'm just saying, that their campaign was based on a kind of malicious tone towards Kamala and the UNC instead of saying, this is what I have done for you. So I kept pointing out, wherever I called, that, Bawita, where's this? Tell us what you have done. And also in my Facebook post, my own post as well as my comments on other people's posts, tell us what you have done. Tell us about what you did in 10 years. And then this all your eggs in one basket thing. That's something I do believe in. As I tell you, we came out of agriculture and so on. You always have a little plant bearing some tomato or baigan or pepper or something, right? Never mind if you are a cane farmer. You always have a little thing there. You're selling that. You're giving away that. You're sharing that because how much baigan you go eat, right? You're sharing that and people sharing with you. You can't just sell this cane and take this money and buy everything like if you're living in the city. You're living in the country. There are opportunities. There are opportunities that Trinidad and Tobago did not explore under the PNM because they believe that all your eggs in one basket is a good strategy. That is the most dumb strategy you will ever find. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Pinal. Yeah, so we just have a few more minutes, so we're taking your calls. 281-1315 on this morning after. There was, coming to you now, caller, there was a part of the strategy that I think the last government also was kind of heavily banking on was the fear factor. They were probably hoping that people were so scared of the UNC between 2010 and 2050, and I think probably all the things that they put out, saying what the party was like and what happened, who thief and who in court, I think they were probably banking heavily on that aspect of it, and I don't think that worked for them either, because people were not prepared to, I suppose, stay and take what you were given, and regardless of whoever was coming, they was going that direction. Caller, good morning to you.
Good morning, Sir Charles.
Hey, Junior.
Yeah, man. Good morning. And I say good morning to everyone, whatever part of the world that you are locked on listening for, because, Sir Charles, we are international, eh?
Yes, we are.
And don't forget that, so we taking
we
taking advertisement from even outside Trinidad and Tobago,
yes,
because you're international.
We are.
Right? Are we in the Caribbean too? Understand? So Charles Syllabus say pleasant good morning to everyone locked on our part of the world. You're locked on listening from back home to the beautiful twin island of Trinidad and Tobago, and to the silent listeners, a pleasant good morning to you all. So Charles, there's so much lesson to learn and to go into, right? But let me take it from where Mr. Pinal would have. So Charles, is not that the PNM did not do anything. Right? Let me take the 10 year that the PNM had, right? We had to take COVID into consideration, where the world was shut down for COVID. And they did a good job in handling COVID. They make sure that everybody that was working with the government, whether you were permanent, whether you were contractually, you would have gotten paid. Such as they make sure that happens. So, in making the statement that we are making, or different people would make, right? We had a factor that is something that has to be factored into the conversation. As we know, there are people right? Where the people, because an article there where in the region where the residents of San Fernando West felt that they were neglected, right, by the dead MP, Mr. Faris, right, and I think that is a legitimate a legitimate concern, right? In different constituency, you would hear people were saying yes, they were being neglected, right? So it means, and it said that, you know what? While the PNM, right, focus were on different, so like Mr. Pina rightfully said, we talk about the dragon gas deal and stuff, right? In terms of the MP and them doing what they would have to do within the trenches, right now. No, what I would agree with what Mr. Pina would have said is the attack on the UNC, their campaign, and that is why when I would have listened to Foster Cummins, he was the champion and he was the antagonistic in terms of going against the UNC. I personally felt no, all you're using the wrong strategy. Right, all you could have convinced all your members that and I mean there's so many things such as we would go into. When you look at the last rally in where the PNM would have had an Eddie Hart, right? There wasn't even space that you could have walked, right? But yet still that in turn that when you look at the result of the election, people would have stayed with of voting. So it means that you all, if the PNM, let me look at the other flip side to it. If the PNM, that the people that would normally come out and support the PNM would have had a good chance in being elected. So in all this that is taking place here, there's a lesson for the PNM that, and I'm not sure if they will ever learn the lesson, because from in time immemorial, different under different leaders, you are keep on hearing that they're not doing a good job in communicating with their people. So I don't know, right? And let me congratulate Miss just help me by her name just
Miss Beckers?
Yes,
Yes,
Miss
Beckers Robinson. Yeah.
Let me congratulate you. I know I listened to the program this morning. I am one find that in terms of would she be strong enough and in terms of her response, in terms of I am yet to see, I am going to watch and I'm going to look forward. She has at least 6 months, right? I'm going on forward before the PNM select a political leader of the party. Let me watch and see how she will rule. I like where she started off even yesterday, right? She would have, in the interview that she would have done, she would have called for recollection, reconnection and rehealing and rebuilding within the PNM political party. So I look forward, and we had a talk. I'm searching because of time. We had a talk because I hear Miss Andabidi yesterday.